The Whispering Woods. The small town of Eldridge had always been surrounded by mystery, but this summer, it was the Whispering Woods that captured the attention of the locals. Rumors filled the air like fireflies on a warm night. People claimed to have seen strange shadows darting between the trees, heard whispers carried on the wind, and encountered creatures that defied reason. Among these tales, the most chilling was that of the Eldridge beast, a cryptid said to roam the forest merely a mile from town. 15-year-old Sam, an aspiring photographer, was fascinated by these stories. He'd spent countless evenings in his room, poring over his grandfather's old journal. It detailed unique flora and fauna of Eldridge, but also spoke of the beast, sometimes seen as a mischief maker, other times as a malevolent spirit. The last entry warned that those who dared to seek the truth often found more than they bargained for. Determined to capture the essence of the woods, Sam planned an expedition with his two best friends, Lena and Jake. The trio set out one late Saturday afternoon, armed with cameras, flashlights, and a sense of intrepid adventure. As they approached the entrance to the woods, the air grew dense, and an eerie stillness enveloped them. The trees, thick and ancient, seemed to breathe around them, their trunks warped and gnarled, as if they were whispering secrets. "Hey, are you sure we should do this?" Lena asked, glancing back at the edge of the tree line, where the sunlight began to fade. "Come on, it's just a bunch of old trees," Jake replied, rolling his eyes. "And we'll leave if it gets too spooky. We can tell everyone we searched for the beast but found nothing." With a burst of laughter, they stepped deeper into the forest, the path narrowing until it was barely visible beneath an overgrowth of ivy and thorny brambles. After an hour of wandering, they stumbled upon a clearing that felt charged with energy. In its center was a large rock covered with moss, glistening as if it held a life of its own. "This is perfect," Sam said, setting his camera on a nearby tree as he prepared to snap some photos. "Look at this place. Might be where the beast comes to rest." As he took the first picture, a low rumble echoed through the air, causing him to lower his camera. The sound was like thunder, but there wasn't a cloud in sight. A shiver ran down his spine. "Did you hear that?" Lena whispered, looking back at Sam, her earlier bravado gone. "Yeah," Jake added, "it sounded closer than before. Should maybe head back?" A whisper floated through the trees, almost indistinguishable from the rustle of leaves. It hung in the air, a haunting melody that seemed to call their names. Sam, Lena, Jock. Before anyone could respond, a sudden gust of wind sent the leaves spiraling. Sam's camera toppled from its perch, and he scrambled to catch it. When he looked up, the shadows had shifted, taking on shapes that were just slightly too human. Panic seeped into his veins, and he felt a jolt of urgency. "Let's go back now," Sam exclaimed, his voice more frantic than he intended. As they turned, the shadows danced closer, their forms changing under the intermittent rays of the sinking sun. And there, among the mass of trees, stood a figure towering above them. It had matted fur, elongated limbs, and glowed with an unnatural light, eyes piercing through the dimness. The Eldridge beast, once just a story, now loomed before them. "Run!" Lena screamed, and they took off at full speed, hearts pounding as they dashed through the underbrush. Twigs snapped underfoot, and a chilling roar echoed behind them, challenging their very will to escape. They darted down the path they thought they had come from, but the forest twisted and turned, roots grabbing at their feet like malevolent hands. "Which way?" Jake cried, desperation creeping into his voice. "Left," Sam shouted. "We have to break through the thicket." They stumbled through the thick brush, driven by survival and terror. But the whispers followed them, filling the air with confusion and dread, tempting them to look back, to rediscover the beauty, or the horror, they had run from. Finally, they burst out of the woods, panting and shocked, but relief washed over them like rain on parched earth. They stumbled onto the road back to Eldridge, breathless and trembling. Never had the sun seemed so bright, the sky so welcoming. As they made their way home, the whispers faded behind them, but the memory of the beast lingered, haunting their thoughts. In the days that followed, Sam processed the images from his camera. When he uploaded the photos, his heart raced at the realization that one of the images captured something neither of them could explain. A blurred figure hidden among the trees, its enormous eyes reflecting the camera's flash. With unease rolling in his stomach, Sam knew the stories weren't over. The Whispering Woods had granted them a terrifying secret, one that would follow them long after they'd escaped. And somewhere within those shadows, the beast knew their names too.